You're watching YCN, Your Local View. Program airtime is underwritten in part by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. Looking to purchase your dream home, finance your business, or just find a better checking relationship? Our New Hampshire team is here to help you. We make award-winning banking happen every day. Contact us to see how we can help you. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your Yankee Chronicle host, and we're back here again at the First Baptist Church in New London. We'll hear a Thanksgiving message from our host, Pastor Glidewell. Caitlin Barden will give us a look at the Lake Sunapee Region VNA's Hospice program. And we'll see the second edition of the Kearsarge Food Hub's food sustainability videos, Fresh Start Farms. Katharine Nevins will give us a look at some book gift ideas at Main Street Bookends. But first, a few words from the good businesses that make it possible for us to continue as YCN, Your Local View. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're with us. One of the ideas that people connect to the act of giving thanks, to Thanksgiving, if you will, is prayer. And that makes sense because giving thanks is a key part of prayer. A verse that's repeated again and again in the Psalms says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." Another favorite of many are the words from the Apostle Paul, who wrote to the church saying, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Of course, it's good and right to give thanks to God. All the good things we have, from our health to our wealth, come from Him. But that's not all there is to prayer. You know, over the years, I've encountered a lot of people who confess to me that they feel bad when they pray for themselves. They actually feel bad when they ask God for things for themselves. Some people have even told me that it feels wrong to do such a thing. And that always makes me feel a little sad, because that's not God's design for prayer. God wants you to come to Him and to pour your heart out to Him. Your Heavenly Father wants you to come to Him and to ask. It's actually a part of the way that Jesus taught us to pray. Remember in the Lord's Prayer, where He teaches us to pray, saying, "Give us this day our daily bread." What's more, your Heavenly Father wants to give you good things. It's okay to come to God and to pray for yourself. Teaching on prayer in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Which of you fathers, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake?" And of course, the answer is no father would do that. If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? It's okay to pray for yourself and your own needs. I's and my's are all over the Bible. "Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am in distress. My eye is wasted away from grief, my soul and my body also." That's Psalm 31, verse 9. Or, "Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy, and your faithfulness and righteousness come to my relief." That's Psalm 143, verse 1. Take your I's and my's to God in prayer. God's answer may not be yes, it may be no or not yet, but what matters most of all is your relationship with him. God is interested in you. He's interested in what's going on in your life, and he wants you to give your life to him, to trust him. And maybe that's the place you need to begin today, by saying to God, "Lord, I want to trust you with my life." And when you put your faith in God, you'll start to learn just how deeply he really does love you. And that's when you'll start to really give him thanks. Well, I'm Pastor Charles Glidewell here at the First Baptist Church in New London. If you would ever like to join us for worship, we'd love to see you. Our Sunday morning worship services are at 9 a.m., and then we have another at 11 a.m. Our annual Lessons and Carol service this year will be on December 14th at 4 p.m. And as always, we have 2 Christmas Eve services. It'll be just like last year and the year before that, one at 5:30, the other at 7 o'clock. And remember, you can always access all of our worship services at our church website. God bless each and every one of you, and from all of us here at the First Baptist Church, happy Thanksgiving.
When we come back, Caitlin Barden at the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice will give us an introduction to their hospice program. We'll be back after this message from another business that underwrites your Yankee Chronicle on YCN, Your Local View. You could be one too. Email us at info@ycnnow.com to learn more.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Caitlin Barden is the Chief Clinical Officer at the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, and I had a chance to talk to her about their hospice program. Hello, Caitlin.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me and talking about, you oversee all the clinicals here, but talk about mostly for hospice care. Talk about the program here, because I think it is something that people don't really understand, the value that the VNA brings for hospice care.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. As you mentioned, I do oversee, we have home care, hospice, and private duty services here. Hospice has a near and dear place in my heart. I was a hospice nurse in the field years ago, and coming back to it feels like, you know, the place to be. It's just such a gift we can give to patients. I think not everybody understands hospice care, and working with the team, we have a lot of team members from nursing to our medical provider, spiritual care, social work, and we really are able to help give people quality and peace and comfort in the care that we provide, and our staff really view it as a gift to be able to provide that care and be a part of people's families.
Sure.
For whatever time that might be, especially during Hospice Month in November, we like to get the word out that you don't have to wait for hospice care. And
Right.
we also do palliative care here. And sometimes, is it palliative? Is it hospice? And we just say, call us, reach out, talk to us. We can provide that expert guidance on where people are and what we have to offer. And our goal is always to try to be able to offer something.
Sure.
Whether it's a conversation and start to build that relationship with people.
Well, I think there are definitely people watching that think, okay, there's going to be an instance where today is the day you have to call for hospice care, but there's a lot of things that you can do, conversations with a partner, family member, and research, like you're saying, call the VNA and get the sense of what do you want your hospice care to look like, and that's stuff that you can walk them through.
Absolutely, and we hear that sometimes from people is when is that time, or
Sure.
they know somebody where maybe their time on hospice was short and they maybe feel nervous or scared about that, and we want to be able to provide that support, whether it's reaching out, maybe having a conversation with people's children or loved ones, and providing those answers for people about what hospice care looks like, and what we're able to do. Again, our goal is during that time for comfort and quality, and what does living life mean for that person, rather than maybe sometimes people view it as or sad or time or negative time is, what can that time be for people?
Well, and it's such an emotional time for not only the patient but the family as well, and some of those decisions are just so hard to make, so you can really guide them in order to do that, but also you become part of their family for a period of time too as the nurse, and that must be quite powerful on your end.
Yes, absolutely, and I think our staff talk a lot about that. There's a lot of storytelling from the families and from our staff, and being able to be a part of that, and really again celebrating that life and those joys and stories of the life that was lived.
Definitely.
And be able to provide, that comfort. And our, either our social worker or sometimes our medical providers are able to go out and have those conversations, really answer those questions that people have, and provide that comfort in knowing what's happening and what's going on.
Right.
And so I think that can be powerful for people to be able to get those answers.
I love that. And another thing we've talked about in years past, but I always think is important to mention, is the hospice care doesn't end when the patient passes away. You offer a lot of support for the family after, and that must be just crucial to the work that you do.
Yeah, so we offer for every family 13 months of bereavement services afterwards, and so either our spiritual care or social work, whoever's made that really connection with the family is able to reach out, provide either a visit in person or a phone support, and that can be really great to have that additional support and know that that connection with the VNA doesn't end.
Absolutely. I would think as a family, you're obviously going through so much, and then all of a sudden it must feel like, well, you've been part of the family for so long, and you up and leave, and you're really saying that there's so much more that you can do for a period of time after to really help the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Caitlin, it's always so fascinating to talk to this department here at the VNA, because I think that it's something that's so scary to people, but it really should be something that you give some thought, do a little research, and have those conversations, because you have such an amazing team.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and just reaching out and initiating those conversations is really what message we want to get out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin Barden, the Chief Clinical Officer here at the VNA, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Abby.
Be sure to check in with them to learn more about what hospice can do for you. When we return, we'll have a second video from the Kearsarge Food Hub telling the stories of food sustainability. Please keep it tuned to YCN, Your Local View, after this message from another supporter of your Yankee Chronicle.
The Lake Sunapee region is one of the few communities in the country where you can ski year-round. During the summer season, the lake provides water skiing, fishing, swimming, and boating. During the winter, Mount Sunapee Resort, located at the south end of the lake, is one of the most popular ski and snowboard destinations in New Hampshire. The views of Lake Sunapee from the trails in Sun Bowl are spectacular. For more information about visiting our beautiful area, contact the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. This week we are presented by the First Baptist Church here in New London. I'm Abby Peel, your host. The Kearsarge Food Hub is dedicated to making sure that we have dependable and secure food sources around here locally. Let's now hear the story of Fresh Start Farms.
Fresh Start Farms, which is a program of the Organization for Refugee and Immigrant Success, ORIS, is a nonprofit. It is a collective brand for refugee and immigrant farmers who grow a wide variety of crops, including culturally specific crops to their home countries. We are here on the Dunbarton Farm. It's a 56-acre farm that about 10 New American farmers farm on. Fresh Start started about almost 20 years ago now by a group of Somali Bantu refugees who wanted to continue to support refugees when they arrive in this country, but also the farming aspect of it was to try to support and honor the skills and experiences that the farmers had at home and be able to adapt that to New England markets.
My name is Sylvain Bukasa. I am a farmer here in Dunbarton for 15 years. Our first focus was our neighbor. We want to produce for our neighbors and then for the market, like farmers market. Sometimes we go directly to families.
There's roughly 40 farmers. We have about 25 farmers who are selling to market. Some farmers are just farming for themselves and farming for their friends and family, and then some farmers are making a business out of it and want to grow. The biggest piece that Fresh Start Farms provides is access to land. So that's the hardest piece for folks. So we own this Dunbarton land here, and then the other properties that we have are in Concord and Boscawen, and they're leased properties that basically divide out even amounts of land to farmers based on what their goals are for their farm. We have wash stations at each of the farm, there's walk-in coolers, and then there's staff members that support in training programs, support with pest management and growing and planting plans and all of those pieces of farming, and then also to adapting to the markets and trying to figure out how they want to grow their business. And a huge piece is the access to the Fresh Start Food Hub. In a lot of ways, it's been a very sustainable and guaranteed market for them, which is really exciting. When they sell to the Food Hub, they don't need to find that on their own and deal with customer service and marketing and sales and all those pieces. We take that piece for them so that they can focus on their farming. I got into this work because of a love of food and a love of land, but we have to get everyone involved in the conversation. We have a big focus on trying to make sure we're supporting the farmers and selling their food, but a big piece of it is how is everybody getting access to this local food and this fresh food? How are we making it affordable? We sell the food that we buy from the farmers, the Fresh Start farmers, as well as other local producers through a CSA farm share, through wholesale, and then also through multiple food access initiatives. We have a mobile market that goes to affordable housing complexes around Manchester and Concord and other community sites. We have a brick and mortar store at our food hub that is in a neighborhood that needs more access to fresh food.
My mission is to feed people with fresh food that is local and that you can eat the same day. Like these ones, when I deliver them, people eat them the same day, which is great. It sometimes helps people who are in situation where they cannot afford because our produce are pretty cheap. We're trying to make sure that people have, food available for them, and especially fresh vegetables. That's our main mission here.
The reality of food work is, especially for middle of the food system, food hubs, is, we're trying really hard to make sure that the farmers are getting a wage that's fair, they're getting a price that's fair for their food, for all the effort that it takes, but still keeping that price accessible for folks is a battle, and that's a challenge. Something that's definitely, we found in a lot of ways really key for us is to be a nonprofit. You're not always going to be able to make it all work and make sure your workers are being paid fairly and the farmers are being paid fairly and you have the equipment that you need without the grants that support our work. To the Fresh Start farmers, it's huge, and to be able to come back to your roots and also to be able to grow that food for the community that they are part of. One program, hey Isha, one really exciting program is the New Hampshire Food Bank has been, through the New Hampshire Feeding New Hampshire program, making a large effort to make sure there are culturally specific crops available in food pantries. There's been a lot of folks who have been just kind of disenfranchised by food pantries because they're not seeing the crops and food that they're used to and want. They've contacted with us to make large wholesale purchases of crops that are specific to countries that the farmers are from. Pumpkin leaves and sorrel and sausawa, and there's been a great response to that. For people to be able to find markets or food pantries that are selling food that they are familiar with and excited to eat, seeing that really helps with their, belonging and feeling like they're part of this community and welcome here.
What's the name of this in your language? Norigi. It's African eggplant or garden egg. A sweet one. That's a sweet one. I must have got one that wasn't sweet.
Thank you to the Kearsarge Food Hub for your efforts to not only tell these stories, but to help make these efforts sustainable locally. When we return, Katharine Nevins at Main Street Bookends will give us some readable gift ideas and more. But first, these words from another one of our good businesses that support programming on YCN, Your Local View.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. In the effort to show how much there is locally to purchase your holiday gifts, let's now hear what is available for the readers on your list. Hi, Katharine.
Hi, Abby. Thank you for joining me down here in the gallery at Main Street Bookends. I am down here in the gallery, and I have been asked to talk a little bit about holiday and the holiday shopping experience and so forth. And the main thing that I want to talk about today is local. If you can shop local, if you can think local, it's going to make a huge difference everywhere. I'm going to start off by telling you that here in Warner, we have the Hometown Holiday, which we do annually, and that's going to be Saturday, December 6th. And it's a lovely event. We have crafters, we have the museums are open, we have the restaurants open. It's a wonderful time to come down and explore the town. So I wanted to let you know that David Elliott will be here in the bookstore, in the gallery, at noon on Saturday, December 6th, and he's going to be here for this book, Boar and the Hedgehog, and he will have all of his books here. And he's quite a wonderful personality. It's wonderful if you haven't met him yet. This is an opportunity to get a lot of children's books, get them signed to your favorite children. So please come on down. Another wonderful Warner author is Ian Rogers. He grew up here in Warner. He has written a couple of novels, and this is his first one, MFA thesis novel. The second one that just came out is called Car Crash, Parker, and the Haven of LARPers. This is so whimsical and so fun, and so it's mythology, and it's just pure insanity from page one all the way through, and it takes place in Warner, although it's not supposed to be Warner, but I think it is Warner. So it's very, very fun. And then I also wanted you to know about Matt Forrest Essenwine. He lives here in Warner, and he has a lot of children's books, and we have them all here at the bookstore. These are all wonderful. This is one of his most recent ones, The Thing to Remember About Stargazing. Dan Tavis, a lot of people know about Dan Tavis. He's a wonderful artist, lives in the area. He grew up here. This is his latest book, Winter is the Worst. And he is really, really taking off, doing a lot of children's books. I'll mention this one that just came out, and this one is called Penny Penguin. Just a sweet little board book. And while I'm talking about local people, let's talk about Lori Morrissey, who lives over in Kentucky. And she has a series of books of haiku. This is her latest one, A Dream of Owls. I have to always mention our dear Rebecca Rule. She has wonderful books, and this is her latest, New Hampshire Trivia. Very fun. I'm very, very fond of this book. This is called Spirit in Creation. It's by two writers, Marjorie Burke and Patricia O'Connor. Both of them have written extensively individually, but these are verses that they wrote together. And I'm proud to say a lot of the writing happened down here in the gallery. And then I'm also really, really enjoying and loving Mel Allen's here in New England. This is the gentleman who just retired from being the editor of Yankee magazine. And this is a compilation of 50 years of his writing. So I'm sitting down here in the gallery because I do want to talk about how important it is to support our local artists. We represent over 30 artists down here in the gallery. These are all Warner or nearby artists. And a lot of these artists put out calendars. And one of them is Mimi Wiggin. So wonderful gift is to give someone a calendar, and a local calendar. These are birds that she's painted throughout the year. This is Dan Tavis's 2026 calendar. I'm going to turn this around. This is wild, but you're going to see how whimsical and how fun all of his paintings are. Of course, very, very local. The Warner Historical Society puts out their annual calendar. And these are the paintings from the amazing Ralph Farman Pratt, who was, as we know, a big influence for Charlie Brown, who was a very important man here in Warner, and an artist in his later life. And then a wonderful Concord artist, Ellen Kenny, has done these beautiful, beautiful woodcuts, Merrimack River year. And things like maple syrup. Now this maple syrup is produced right here in Warner from the Rogers family. And things like this make wonderful gifts for everyone. Who can resist maple syrup or maple candies? Who can resist? So I guess if I had a message to get across, if I could get a message across, it would be that if you buy local, you're making a big difference. You are supporting our local artists, you're supporting our local businesses, you're supporting our local writers and musicians. And these are the people that keep our towns and our communities alive. This is the heart of who we are. So you're supporting all of these wonderful artisans. And you're also important to support our local farmers. So if you have an opportunity to buy locally from farmers, from any of these artisans or artists or musicians or writers, please do it. Please think about making your purchases local, because if it's local, it stays right in your community. If you go to Amazon, it's going to go into the pockets of Jeff Bezos. So think about that. Think about where you want your money to go. So we would love to have you come down, because there's always something wonderful happening in Warner.
Thanks, Katharine. No reason to go online when there's so much to buy locally and help support the businesses that support things you love about our area. Next week, we'll be right back here at the First Baptist Church for our final show at this location. Tracy Coverdale and Bill Ross will join me to talk about the Kearsarge Food Pantry and how you can help and use it if the need arises. Pastor Charles Glidewell will invite us to the annual Lessons and Carols ecumenical gathering that tells the story of the Nativity of Christ. Ashley Rowley, the Executive Director of the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce, will give us an incentive to shop local this year when buying gifts. And we'll close with the last of 3 videos from the Kearsarge Food Hub on the New England Young Fishermen's Alliance. The live game of the week starts up again in December as we feature both the boys and girls from Kearsarge, Hopkinton, Sunapee, and Newport in basketball. Check out our schedule at YCNnow.com for the most up-to-date game information. Games replay every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. on TDS channels 13 and 1013, Comcast 8, Roku, Apple TV, and for those that don't have cable, our YCNnow.com website. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week for a fresh edition of Yankee Chronicle. Have a great weekend, everyone.
The Lake Sunapee region is one of the few communities in the country where you can ski year-round. During the summer season, the lake provides water skiing, fishing, swimming, and boating. During the winter, Mount Sunapee Resort, located at the south end of the lake, is one of the most popular ski and snowboard destinations in New Hampshire. The views of Lake Sunapee from the trails in Sun Bowl are spectacular. For more information about visiting our beautiful area, contact the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce.